Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back another video from Mother's Basement, and today we are checking out Disney Plus, where anime goes to die. Because I don't have a Disney Plus account. To catch up with Bleach, I had to use other means of checking that out. Disney Plus Disney don't seem to do a good job of promoting the shows that are on there. I feel like nobody talks about the shows that are on Disney Plus unless it's Bleach. I think I'm going to find this quite interesting to find out what anime actually is on Disney Plus and what I've just not heard about. But anyway, let's check it out. Disney Plus, where anime goes to die.
On March 8th, 2024, the world was shaken by the terrible loss of Akira Toriyama. Arguably the most influential manga creator of all time, though even that feels like I'm diminishing his impact by saying it. People wept around the globe.
I cried my eyes out.
And countless tributes were made by celebrities and world governments alike. Then, on March 20th that same year, the Sandland series released on Hulu and Disney Plus.
Oh. I didn't know that was out. I did not know that was out.
The last new anime adaptation of Toriyama's work that would ever be made with his involvement.
My God.
But you wouldn't know it if you looked at any of Disney or Hulu's official marketing channels, or,
what the
for
hell?
that matter, if you Googled the words Sandland and didn't scroll to the second page, because the first one was entirely taken up by stuff about the manga and Bandai Namco's upcoming Sandland game. There are two possible explanations for that. Either Bandai Namco is just that much better at marketing and search engine optimization than Disney, or Disney just doesn't give enough of a about anime outside the Japanese market to make so much as a single tweet about it.
But then why have it? This is what I don't understand. Why acquire it if you're not going to market it?
Wait, sorry. They did make one single tweet last summer about Bleach Thousand Year Blood War in French. You may be wondering why I'd be so bothered about this is to make a whole video on the topic in the first place. I mean, sure, the specific case of Sandland is a pretty egregious fumble, but you wouldn't really expect a big mainstream streamer like Disney Plus or Hulu to do anime that well in the first place, right? I mean, it took Netflix years to start not fucking up basically every seasonal anime they acquired outside Japan, and Amazon just let their half-hearted attempt at an anime platform die on the vine, and a bunch of exclusives along with it. But that's exactly what's so frustrating about Disney Plus. They're actually getting a lot of aspects of anime streaming very right. Like, their first original project was Star Wars Visions, and that show the first year was pretty rough for shows like Summertime Rendering that got stuck in Disney jail, but they figured out simulcasting way faster than Netflix did. And sure, you'd have to put up with reading English closed captions instead of actual subtitles on most of their anime, including Star Wars Visions, but you can actually watch most of their anime at the same time as it comes out in Japan.
Decent. That's good. That's cool that you can do that.
Emphasis on most, before they dub it. And while their catalog is small, the few anime they've picked up do show a keen eye for both quality and what anime fans want. Since getting into the anime game, they've managed to nab at least one of the best shows of each season every season for the last year, though again, you wouldn't know it looking
I was like, but why? Why? I don't get why.
At their socials. It's not just big name shonen acquisitions either, but art house anime like Tatami Time Machine Blues that true connoisseurs who know what a science saru is love to gush about. One of 2023's big frontrunners for anime of the year, Heavenly Delusion, was a Disney Plus exclusive, and it had to achieve that status entirely through grassroots fan campaigning without any help from Disney, since they couldn't even be bothered to translate the title into something an English audience would understand, even though the manga's publisher already translated it and the existing English fandom has been using the name Heavenly Delusion for years. Instead, Disney decided to market it to their Disney-ass audience as Tengoku Daimakyo. And if you don't get what's so bad about that, ask yourself, would mainstream English
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
audiences still be talking about Attack on Titan
If
a
it was
decade later if they had to say Shingeki no Kyojin?
yeah.
This is like the most basic anime marketing concept. They've known this shit since Speed Racer. So what's the deal? Does Disney want these shows to fail? Obviously not. I mean, why would they? They paid good money to license and subtitle.
But then why
and
not
in some
advertise it?
cases
Why not
dub them.
market
They
it?
probably feel pretty good about making at least a bit of that back, hence why they bother to sub and dub anime in the first place. But as far as marketing efforts go, all streaming platforms tend to focus on promoting the titles they think will help them best acquire new users in each market. And all of these anime were licensed with the goal of bringing in more Disney Plus subs in Japan alone. When it comes to attracting a North American audience, though, when you got some Shonen Jump stuff in the one hand and all the Disney, Marvel, Lucasfilm properties in the other, it's kind of a no-brainer what you're going to focus your ad budget on.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Yeah, you'd think so. You'd think they'd, like, space out the Marvel and Star Wars a bit, put some anime between them, and, you know, throw in some variety, make sure people don't get burned out. You'd think they could at least make a tweet about some of this anime, like
anything.
when one of the most famous people on Earth who made it dies. Tweets are free, after all.
It's as horrible as this sounds as well. Why did no one think? Akira Toriyama's just died. We've got his newest project that he worked on. We could work with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can kind of profit off of this loss by mentioning the fact that his final thing is with us, but not even that. Crazy.
But the time of the guy doing the tweeting is not. And if you tweet too much outside your niche, that can f with your algorithms. So all these anime, no matter how great, no matter how culturally important they are, get literally nothing in the schedule and budget for that. Which I guess answers the question from the title, unless I changed it and or the thumbnail, which I reserve the right to do at any time. But you may have noticed that there's still quite a bit of timeline left in this timeline, and that's because now we're going to take a closer look at some of the great anime that Disney has screwed over and how exactly they were screwed over in order to explain why, even though I know the objectively obvious answer to that question, I can't help asking myself every single time they bring out a new anime if Disney is doing this shit on purpose. Summertime Rendering is a brilliant mystery thriller about a young man who returns to his isolated island hometown to attend the funeral of his beloved childhood friend. She died under decidedly strange circumstances, which only gets stranger the longer he stays on the island. But to say almost anything more would be to ruin some of the most satisfying twists and turns in anime. Summertime Rendering is masterful in how it manages and subverts audience expectations and weaves its mystery into the greater narrative. There's so much more to almost every aspect of the show than first meets the eye, from funny one-liners to panty shots, and it's a blast to discover all the little clues for yourself, so I'll keep my description as brief and vague as possible. The setting of the story, Hitogashima, is a fake island based on a real uninhabited one, the most popular spot in Japan for Laputa Castle in the Sky cosplay shoots, as a point of fact, owing to some old decaying military ruins on the island. But it's reimagined here as a moderately insular fishing community with a modest tourist side hustle. Over the course of the series, we get to know the real geography of the island and its fictional inhabitants quite intimately, and I was continuously impressed by the depth and nuance of its small-scale world building. By the end of the series, Hitogashima's winding streets and backwoods felt as familiar to me as the main locations of any Resident Evil game, and that's about as high praise as I can give a small-scale fictional setting like this. On top of that, the series features some absolutely gorgeous animation, most of which I sadly can't show you because spoilers, but you gotta trust me, when the action in this thing
anime food just hits so different, man.
Pops off, it pops off, and I bet it would have been popping off on Twitter like every week while it was airing if it actually had a simulcast. Instead, Disney unceremoniously dumped the dub on their platform in the middle of January, 2 seasons late, when everyone was distracted by all the new seasonals. So it didn't get the week-to-week fan attention and speculation that a mystery like that is really perfect for, or...
Yeah, a mystery anime is definitely something that you, week by week, put out. Anticipation, mystery question. Oh, wow.
Or the binge watch hype factor that comes with a big Netflix drop. One of 2022's strongest underdog contenders for Anime of the Year just came and went with hardly any Western fans noticing. And now I'm stuck with the conundrum of either spoiling all the cool, vaguely mind-blowing stuff the series does for all of you who haven't experienced it yet, which is most of you, or just saying, trust me guys, it's really good, and hoping you'll take me up on that advice and going completely blind, and then maybe tell some of your friends about it.
牛尾のこと、お前の親父さんが解剖したって聞いたけど、牛尾は海の事故で死んだんよな。また夜に電話すら。詳しい話はその時に。自殺の検視に親父が立ち会うただけのこっちゃ。ただな、その検視で吉川線が見つかったんや。誰かに首絞められた後や。つまり他殺の可能性があるいうこっちゃ。
Whoa, and then it
The first
begins.
season of Tokyo Revengers is a great example of how effective a weekly simulcast can be at generating hype around a good mystery anime like that.
Yeah, I thought Tokyo Revengers was on Crunchyroll.
Or indeed, even just a kind of okay mystery anime with an interesting hook and dogshit animation. Even with dogshit animation, Tokyo Revengers had people talking every week it aired, speculating about what might happen next. And regardless of how well the rest of the show holds up, that experience made it fun to keep up with. But that kind of experience relies on people knowing, you know, when the new episodes are coming out.
Okay.
So it's definitely a problem that a lot of you just said to yourselves, wait, there's more than one season of Tokyo Revengers?
Oh.
Yes. There are 3 now, 2 of which are exclusive to Disney+, which is why you didn't hear about them. And the fact that you didn't hear about them is also why Disney is apparently never ever going to dub the 3rd season.
This is so weird. This is so weird. I didn't think there was going to be so much that I didn't know of just because Disney haven't meant.
Because nobody watched the second one, you see. It is no longer worth it to dub through the entire show, which, of course, only makes it less likely that your average Disney Plus user will commit to watching it, thereby compounding the whole stupid problem. Which isn't the only problem with that anime, to be clear. Even the much better manga kind of falls off toward the end, but neither of them fall off anywhere near as bad as that precipitous drop in viewership and hype would suggest. And that's entirely on Disney for fumbling one of the easiest passes Crunchyroll could have thrown them.
That's mad, yeah, because I just. Crazy, yeah, because. Right, that's why no one's been talking about it then. Because season 1 was on Crunchyroll, yeah? I saw posts about that all the freaking time. But then why do Disney go, oh, that's popular, let's acquire that and carry on with it, to then not do anything? Ah!
Their advertising in action is having a similarly negative effect on Bleach Thousand Year Blood War, the long-awaited animated reworking of the manga's somewhat rushed and slapdash ending that was supposed to reignite interest in the IP ahead of more cool Burn the Witch stuff, I assume.
I still need to watch. There's still a Burn the Witch thing I need to watch.
And it is doing that job over in its native Japan, where Bleach apparently has a much younger average readership than even current shonens directly inspired by it, like JJK and Demon Slayer. But Over here, it's pretty much just the old heads keeping Bleach hype alive. And that
Mate, it's so good though. It's Thousand Year Blood War anime is so good.
sucks because Thousand Year Blood War is a legitimately great adaptation that captures the minimalist elegance of Tite Kubo's
fantastic.
artwork much more effectively than even the really good early parts of the old anime. It deserves way more acknowledgement than it's getting from the broader anime community. I was really hoping it would encourage more people who wrote that original series off to give it another shot and see how great Bleach can really be. But the most Disney could do for it is that one tweet in French, and that's the most they've done for any anime, so I guess Bleach is doomed to just kind of sit there on their servers. And that's a show with an existing fan base.
Yeah, that's mad. That's absolutely insane. It's Bleach.
Imagine what would happen if they got their hands on a new adaptation of some hot Shonen Jump manga without any mainstream English attention on it yet. Oh wait, you don't have to imagine, because it's already happened. Twice! On top of Sandland, their release of Undead Unluck has been an unmitigated disaster that's crippled anime community hype around what should have been like 12 of the hugest plot twists in recent memory. That show has one of the coolest, most unique power systems of any shonen I know, a great sense of humor, wonderful characters, and some seriously clever plotting, and much like Heavenly Delusion, those features have attracted a growing audience to it, even in spite of Disney's advertising apathy. But even fan efforts to hype the show up have been hamstrung by the way it was released. First on Hulu in America only, simulcasting week to week since release day, then in Canada and Europe on Disney+. Also simulcasting, just with over a month-long delay from when America and Japan got their episodes for no apparent reason, unless they were trying to fragment the English-speaking fan base and dilute all the hype around the show on purpose. But that'd be crazy, right? I certainly hope so, because they just became the exclusive English streaming home of Mission Yozakura Family, which, if they don't at least start advertising that, would be the
I've never heard of this. Never heard of this.
third new Shonen Jump hype train that they've driven straight into the ground. And with Go-Go Loser Ranger and The Fable also exclusive to Disney this season, they're about to score the same kill.
Crazy, right? Crazy. Again, sorry. I am watching Go-Go Loser Ranger by other means. But I was also confused as how I've not seen any advertising for it. It's good. It's great. It's awesome. But all I'm seeing is like random posts from like people being like, "Hey, has anyone seen this?" But not like. It's so well animated and such an interesting story. Concept's great, and yeah, I'm not seeing any advertisement for it whatsoever. Makes sense now.
Count on Kodansha's weekly shonen magazine. Though, if you count Bleach, Shueisha is still technically in the lead, unless you also count Ishura, the stupid cool isekai dark fantasy tournament arc thing that I spotlighted in Winter's Ones to Watch, because that's a monthly shonen magazine anime. So, yeah, I feel like this is an appropriate place to put one of them Grim Reaper memes. To be clear, Disney is not the absolute worst company to ever stream anime. That's still Amazon and Anime Strike. Everything about Anime Strike. They're still screwing anime fans over, even years after they died, by letting the license lapse on recreators at the end of March, thus rendering one of the greatest anime of the last decade legally inaccessible.
Oh. Right, I might watch it then. That's been something I've been planning to watch on my Amazon thing for it.
Because they never bothered to put it out on Blu-ray. I feel like they did that to hurt me personally, and it worked. Not that Crunchyroll's been much better with anime accessibility lately, what with how many Funimation licenses they just neglected to bring over before shutting down the servers, including important classic anime like Outlaw Star, Samurai Flamenco, Dot Hack, and Vision of...
Oh! They didn't bring Escaflowne over. Because I remember watching that on Funimation. Why? That...
Escaflowne, plus a ton of dubs and even earlier episodes of anime they're currently simulcasting in certain territories, like Konosuba in Australia, which is especially frustrating when you know that a lot of Funimation people have been running Crunchyroll since the buyout. You'd think they'd remember their own anime. Also, there's all that shit the CEO said about using more and more AI translation, which at best gives you semi-coherent subtitles with all the flavor and texture of unsalted saltines, and at worst,
どこが朝飯だ発がん性物質生成したの間違いだろ
These are real subtitles that Control actually published. You were the one turned off my alarm clock, right?
目覚まし切ったのもお前の仕業か
何のことだか
お前だな
Wow.
to their credit, High Dive's been doing a better job of keeping obscure and classic titles accessible and translated by actual humans, but only in the regions they're still serving after they abruptly pulled out of everywhere that doesn't speak English. Which could, to be fair, have been something totally out of their hands. I don't know, I've definitely had enough run-ins with Italian anime distributors to know this business isn't as simple as it seems, but that still really sucked for everyone who was subscribed in non-Anglophone regions. The only major anime platform that's shown straightforward improvement in accessibility and localization over the last few years is Netflix. And you have no idea how weird that feels to say. Also, I don't know who exactly is to blame for it, if anyone, but it's really weird that Blue Archive the Animation and Girls Band Cry just haven't been picked up for official English streaming by anyone. Back in the Funimation versus Crunchyroll days, you'd almost never see potential simulcasts that good just get left
Just
on the
not
table,
picked
let
up,
alone
wow.
2 in one season, yet here we are. But even so, all of those other platforms that still exist are at least putting in the minimum effort to make people aware
That
of
they've
the
got the
shows
shows
they
there,
do
yeah.
have. And the problem with Disney isn't that they're continually f***ing up all the time so hard, and it's kind of baffling how they could f*** up that hard with like that much money, and you know, so much as Disney just isn't trying to begin with. When if they did try even a little bit to market their platform as a hub for great animation with great anime like Tatami Time Machine Blues, Heavenly Delusion, King of the Hill at the forefront, they could probably do quite a bit of good both for these anime and their own rapidly collapsing business model. Okay, maybe not that much good on that front. I doubt any of these anime could save that which ESPN and Marvel could not, but with just a tiny amount of marketing muscle, maybe they could help Disney salvage their drain-circling reputation as innovators in animation instead of just letting Netflix keep sidling in on their throne and taking all the credit for even animated projects that they paid to create, like Nimona. Fucking dipshits. Disney and the rest of Hollywood along with them have become so bloated and obsessed with blockbuster success stories that they're letting anything they don't think will make them a cajillion dollars wither on the vine with zero exposure if they don't straight up toss it in the trash for a tax write-off. Fun fact, if you add up all the man hours it took to make it, Coyote vs. Acme was probably worth more to humanity than David Zaslav's entire miserable life. Sorry, I'm just getting mad at everything
Yeah,
now.
seems
That
like-
kind of happens when I start talking about Hollywood and America's art industry. Soulless husks incapable of appreciating the value of any of the products they control, taking wild guesses based on what worked before and pretending like it's inscrutable business genius that makes them irreplaceable next to the artists and actors who are actually making the shit that they sell. They drain every last dime's worth of integrity out of anything that they get their ghoulish mitts on. And a big part of the reason I got into anime in the first place was to escape that corruptive influence. So it really sucks to see so many promising anime touched and damaged by it, and Disney's pace of acquisitions is only picking up. So yeah, shit sucks. This video's basically just me venting about shit that sucks. I
That's
started
fine.
writing it hoping I'd reach some more positive takeaway, but a lot of shit just kind of sucks right now in a lot of ways, not just anime ways, and a lot of it feels like it's getting worse all the time, and I don't really know what I can do in the face of that except keep pointing you toward cool anime and other
Please
cool
do.
stuff that you might otherwise miss, in hopes that it makes your day a little brighter, and maybe, ideally, my videos do the same. And I don't got a sponsor on this particular video, but if you want to support our efforts to do that and all the other cool stuff that Yazzie and I are making and have plans to make now that we live in Tokyo, that's a great way to do it. Especially since YouTube copyright and censorship are some of the shit that's been sucking the hardest lately, and if you're on our Patreon, you don't have to miss out on any videos that go down due to that. Plus, you get the raw, unbleeped, fan-servicey cuts of stuff like Hottest Trash. I'm Jeff
My
Fu,
God.
professional anime complainer, and you should go watch Sandland already.
Yeah, I want to.
Or summertime rendering.
Or Summertime Rendering.
I didn't know Sandland anime was out. That's crazy. That is crazy. Go-Go Loser Ranger. Didn't know it was on Disney, but I knew it wasn't on Crunchyroll, so that's why I'm watching it the way I'm watching it, and I highly recommend that one. Mad Disney, I don't get it. Why pay the money to acquire these things and then just not, and then not promote them? Anyway, thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video or want to be able to watch patron-only reactions, such as the original Dragon Ball series, link is in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month is all I ask to help support channels. Greatly appreciate the extra that. Thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? If you guys think of this, click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys, all you guys, next time.